Up on screen's a graph of the Dow Jones, and on Friday night the market had a rally going into the close. We suspect that the bounce the market's probably profit taking on the short positions. When we look at we had the 10% sell-off in early February. The market bounced back a little more than 50%, probably roughly 60% up to the high there at 25,800, and then the Dow's sold off again. Where we think we are at the moment is probably the early stages of another 1 or 2 day bounce at the most, and then there's further pressure to the downside likely. If we have a look at the XJO, you can see the pressure that the market's under. A little bit different picture here. We never had quite the same percentage sell-off, rebounded, and it's now coming back down, and with today it's testing the session lows of Friday. If we go through and have a look at the top 20 quickly, and then I just want to show you how we've separated the algorithm signals out in the watch list. So to look at the top 20, we click on watch list, we go to here, select ASX 20. We might make a point of clicking on the percentage column. We can see QBE's down today, and we go into the chart and then we start toggling through them. So let's just move through these fairly quickly. So iron ore prices are under pressure a little bit at the moment, but still higher levels in over $70 US a ton at the moment. We have support for Rio back there at around $75. Centre Group, you're starting to see money come back into these yield sensitive names. So the property trust infrastructure names, as the US interest rates appear to have ran into resistance for the short term. Suncorp, so I'll move through these reasonably quickly. So Transurban we quite like. This is in the model. Telstra, we can see here it's gone ex-dividend last week. Westpac Bank's in the model, but all the banks are really right on their lows, with the regional banks under the most pressure. Wesfarmers back on about a 5.5% dividend yield, but a pretty uninspiring earnings result. Westfield, we continue to like this. We think the stock's underpinned by the takeover deal, and with our view that interest rates are unlikely to go higher short term, we're still comfortable holding Westfield. Woolworths went ex-dividend last week. Fair value, we put a post on the blog here at around 26.50. Might be time to take another look at Woolworths. Woodside, we're looking for this to find support. We've got the discounted rights issue at $27. Once that washes through the market, we expect Woodside to hold up and start to recover. When you look at the AMP, so I don't think there was too much there in the earnings result that was particularly inspiring. So at best, we see that moving sideways. ANZ, as with the other banks, are on that support line. BHP, so this is one that I think you want to be keeping a close eye on over the next week. If we see it come back down and sort of test that $28 level, should provide a good buying opportunity. BHP goes ex-dividend a little bit later in the week on Thursday. CBA, it's been added into the model, but we're still cautious on what the outlook for earnings growth looks like for the banks at the moment. CSL delivered terrific earnings, something in the order of 30%, so well above market expectation there on CSL. Macquarie Group, thinking that just with a view they're tied into the market, that Macquarie starts to run into resistance. So here's the one I wanted to get to, NAB. So this was removed from the model portfolio. You should have received an email last week letting you know that NAB had been removed from the top 50 and the top 20 model. So the total return there was 21%. We bought it here on the lows, sold it on the algo signal, 21% return plus dividends over that period. QBE, earnings result disappointed a little bit. You can see there it's under pressure with the sell side algorithm signal, and there we are back to Rio. So what I want to show is if you click on the watch list, go in here, we've now separated the signals out. So whereas previously we had the ASX and the international signals combined, or the US signals combined, now we've separated them. Click on ASX, go to charts, toggle through them, and you can see just the last 7 days of signals. So Blackmore's maybe around this 120 to 125, but it's not high on our priority list there. BlueScope Alternative, you can see I've marked support. We might be willing to take a look at that at around $11. Bank of Queensland, so these are interesting, these short signals both in Bendigo and in Bank of Queensland, had a sell side signal there at $13. The stock's now $11.80, and the pressure still looks like it wants to go to the downside. Fairfax is one that I'm interested in. I think maybe here at this sort of 76 cent level looks like it should move lower from there. Green Cross is a veterinarian consolidated company. Keep an eye on this. Had the algo buy there, but if you look at the short-term stochastic, hasn't yet turned positive. Harvey Norman, we've had a buy signal here, but we're giving this some time. You can see there the short-term momentum indicator still quite bearish. InvoCare went ex-dividend today, 27 cents. It's possible that we see InvoCare down at around $13 before it finally finds support, which would put the stock on about a 4% dividend yield, which I think even in an environment where InvoCare reinvest the most part of their profits into the business over the next year or two, InvoCare should still manage to find support at $13 and as I said, trading on around a 4% yield. So that's the target there. Lendlease looking for this to run into resistance. It may close the gap up to 18.50, but the algo sell side signal there has meant that the stock's been removed from the model portfolio. NAB, I spoke about that, so that was the sell side signal there. So again, these recent signals that we're going through are just the algo signals from the last 7 days. Oil Search, I think this is worth keeping on your watch list here at around 725. Star Casino, I think this is getting to a point where it finds support. I think the real trigger for Star may not be until the August earnings results, but the sell-off that we've had, the stock's corrected from $6.50 down to whether it's sort of this 520 level or maybe a little bit lower at $5. I think it starts to bottom out here, and we're looking for that to find support. Seven West Media, you can see there the sell side signal, and the stock's moved to the downside, and there we are back to Blackmores. Thank you for listening in today, and I look forward to speaking again soon.